a question that I get a lot, and I found not much information out there about this question, and that question is shelf life. Okay, so let's see what we can find out about it. But first, welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy, and this is the channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Okay, on this video, I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. And I am going to say, I am not a scientist. I am not an expert in this. I checked out the information I did get. I checked it out for multiple sources. And I'm putting out there what I believe to be true from experience and what I've read. But you have to use your own judgment and your own common sense. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the one we're going to start with, this is the easiest one. Spirits. Traditional spirits like your bourbons, your vodkas, your whiskeys, your rums. Spirits that have no sugar added to it. Of course, when we ferment, we convert all the sugars over into alcohol, and then we distill them out. So there is no there is no sugar in, say, this bourbon. Unless you add it, then that would be a little different. But typically it's not in there. So, what's the shelf life on regular traditional spirits? Well, if you store it properly, it will pretty much last forever unopened. Okay, but now when you start enjoying this bottle and you get like halfway, every time you open it, you're going to introduce oxygen into the bottle. So it can start going bad at that time. Now I'm not talking bad where it's undrinkable, just the taste will deteriorate. You will start losing the taste. It won't hurt you or anything. Most bourbons and whiskeys and everything like that is pretty much over, or 80 proof and over. Bacteria can't live in 80 proof or over, so that's why I say, and what I've read is shelf life is pretty much forever. Okay? Alright, and we'll go over the proper way to store it. We'll get to that in a little bit. Okay? Okay, so that is the traditional spirits. So let's start into the moonshines. First moonshine I'm going to talk about is your plain moonshine. Okay? There's no sugar in this. There's no flavoring in it. This is just your normal, let's say, corn liquor or whatever you want to call your moonshine. Usually a good moonshine can be 80 proof or above. So it is going to go right there with your whiskeys and your bourbons and such, as it will be, if stored properly, pretty much last forever. Okay? So that's good on that. Alright, now, here's the tricky one. Flavored moonshines. And if you had some flavored liqueurs and stuff like that, I would put them in the group of flavored moonshines. Okay. A lot of your flavored moonshines, they have sugar added. A flavoring. They got fruit. So let's talk about, or they'll have both fruit and sugar in it. Okay. So the best I understand of what I've read, not that it usually lasts with me that long, but you can keep moonshines up to 2 years if they're sealed. That's what everything I read. Now, the other thing is some moonshines, like this peach moonshine here, I think it's only right around 20 proof. Okay, very delicious though, but it's very enjoyable. Nice glass of ice. I'm getting away from it. Okay, but like this blackberry, it has very little sugar. This is like 70, 75 proof, and the same with the hot damn. It's right around there too. It has very little sugar. It was some added, but very little. So this is going to last a lot longer than the fruit. Okay, once you open them, okay, the best is, like I said, well, let me back up. So these are 2 years. But you got, like I said before, you have to use your own judgment. Once you open it, hey, the best thing to do is go ahead and store it in the fridge. Hey, it's best when it's cold anyway. Nah, that's my opinion. But it's best if you use it within 6 months or less. Okay. This one here with the lower alcohol, I would use it on the lesser side of the 6 months. But you take this blackberry shine, which was a higher proof, it would last maybe 6 months or longer, you know, after you've opened it. Okay. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about, which I don't have a sample here, and that's a shame because I love cream moonshine or sipping creams. I get a kick. They're delicious to me. It's basically the same as your fruit moonshines. Put them in the fridge. They're the best when they're cold. And what I've read is they're good for 6 months or less. They're telling me that unopened they can last 2 years, but I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I'm not sure if I agree with that. I'm gonna go with the 6 months or less, even if it ain't, even if it was unopened. But maybe I need to try that one time. It don't last around my house that long. Okay. Okay. Proper storage. Okay. The proper storage is stored upright. If they're, well, this is a synthetic cork, but if you have a regular cork bottle, they say that the alcohol can actually start to eat at the cork, but not like, like wine. You store that on its side, but you should store this upright in a cool, dark place, not out into the sunshine, because well, let me back up. So every once in a while, if this is a cork, you can invert the bottle just for a minute, and then rotate the bottle just to wet the cork a little bit so that it will stay swelled up. Number one enemy, light. Light is the number one enemy for your spirits. And the number two enemy for your spirits is oxidation. Okay. Now, like if you notice this bottle here, there's not very much oxygen space in that bottle. Now, if you say would drink a half of a bottle, so you have a lot more oxygen in there, so it could start making the spirit taste not as good as it started out to be. And most of your moonshines, they don't really get that much better with age. Now, I say your aged spirits, like your bourbons and anything that's aged in an oak barrel, in a wooden barrel, they do get a little better with the age, but not your moonshines. All right. So, and cream liquors, I like to store them in the fridge right from the get-go. I don't, or your sipping creams, I don't like particularly late. I just like them refrigerated because number one, I like to drink them cold. So, to me, I just keep them in the fridge, opened or unopened, and that's just me. Alright? Okay, signs that would indicate that something went bad. Well, first thing is that you would see is a weird color. You pretty much know what it's supposed to look like, and so just pay attention to the color. If you start seeing it look weird and the texture's weird, I wouldn't drink it. The next thing would be a foul smell that just don't belong there, or a foul taste. Unpleasant. If it ain't pleasant, I'm not going to drink it. Okay? So that would be your first indications that you better check it out a little bit more. Okay, as a recap, traditional spirits, you know which ones they are. Store them proper, they last for almost forever. and include that with your, your corn moonshine without no sugars, no flavoring, or nothing added to it. Okay, that goes in the same category. Moonshine with sugar added, unopened. I'm reading it. It's good for 2 years. Opened in the fridge 6 months or less. Okay. Sipping creams or your creamed things, like stuff with milk or cream in it. They say unopened is 2 years. I don't know, but that's what they say. Opened in the fridge, they should be good for 6 months or less. Okay. Alright. Hey, if you liked this video or got anything out of it, and I hope you did, please consider hitting that subscribe button. That is one of the ways that we can keep bringing out content to you, is by subscribers. That's one thing that YouTube likes to see, and how we can grow. So please, if you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe button, and the other things, alright? So, I hope that you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I guess the last thing I got to say is, hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Still Works on Brewing. Cheers, everybody.